Blog Talk Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations. You're about to arrive to the right place.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Alan and Terence Sportsbook Podcast. Are you ready for it? Now, here is Alan and Aaron.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Alan and Aaron Sports Talk Radio Show. Got something real special for you today. It's today, November 12th, Friday, 1:30 p.m. We're going to bring you in live to a Terence Crawford press conference. Thank you to Top Rank for inviting us and letting us be a part of the press conference. So you guys will be able to listen in, check out what Terence Crawford has to say right before his fight with big-time Showtime Sean Porter. Fight is scheduled for November 20th. Almost all the in-person seats have been sold out, so there are a few seats remaining, but more importantly, make sure you watch that fight. It's going to be a big fight. On our Facebook page, you have the little bit of the soundbite of me asking Sean Porter a question. He ended the press conference. Big props to Sean Porter. Really cool of him. Very, very cool of him to go ahead and end the press conference on my last question of the day. It was pretty much, Mark Chinook was ending it, and he said, I'm going to take one more question from Alan Alford. And that's me from the Alan and Aaron Sports Talk Radio Show. Really appreciate him doing that. Sean Porter. But today we got Terence Crawford. We're going to hear what he has to say in response to this big fight that's coming up November 20th. That's a mega fight, one of the big fights of the year. I'm not surprised that most of the in-person seats have pretty much sold out. It's a mega fight, and it's going to be a big step up from Terence Crawford and his competition level. So we're going to check and see how he fares out in this fight. We got a lot of great behind-the-scenes things that we're going to let you see. Hey, if you haven't done so already, please like our Facebook page, and also please follow us on iHeartRadio. Really appreciate you fans listening, and we're doing the best we can here at the Alan and Aaron Sports Talk Radio Show to make sure that you guys are entertained, you're happy, and everything's going well at the Alan and Aaron Sports Talk Radio Show. And one thing I did want to mention to you is that during the press conference, I unfortunately won't be able to answer any questions during the press conference if you call in, but definitely we're going to have our show scheduled time. It's going to be at 9:30 tonight, same place, same time. Friday night, we have our show at 9:30, a regular scheduled show that is still on for tonight. You can give me your thoughts there. If you do call in, I probably will be able to go ahead and talk to you right after the press conference. So we're waiting for the press conference to start. Should start any moment. They'll let us in. This is actually pretty cool that Terence Crawford is doing this because he actually was scheduled to do the press conference with Sean Porter on Wednesday. Unfortunately, technical difficulties got the best of Terence. He wasn't able to go ahead and connect. He had problems with what was told to us via being in the mountains with his Zoom. So he wasn't able to include himself in a press conference Wednesday where both of them were supposed to be in the press conference. And pretty much almost everybody thought that was it. It was, one-shot deal. He didn't do it, and they were moving on. But lo and behold, take two is today. Terence Crawford is determined to talk about what he's going to do on Saturday, November 20th. And I'm excited about hearing what he has to say. Got me a question already ready for him. And definitely hope I get a chance to ask him. And it's going to be a great time. It's going to be fantastic. And it's going to be one of the things that I'm looking forward to is hearing Terence Bud Crawford talk today, his press conference. We really appreciate Top Rank Boxing for allowing us this opportunity to be in the press conference. We don't take it lightly. It's really a blessing. So we're looking forward to it. We are definitely excited and definitely really excited, real happy about being in a press conference. Should be starting any moment now. And we're going to let you in. As soon as they let us in, we're going to let you in here at the Alan and Aaron Sports Talk Radio Show. Wow, we got a lot to discuss on our Friday night show, so we're excited about that too. So definitely, Aaron is scheduled to be with me tonight, so that's going to be always a great thing when you got your co-host with you, and it's going to be a lot of fun. He missed, unfortunately, the last couple of weeks, but definitely it's going to be a great show for you tonight, Friday night. And today we got the live press conference here. Terence Bud Crawford, he's going to talk and give us an insight on his big fight and see what's going on. Definitely. Oh, okay. One moment. Give me 1 second. Here we go, guys.
Recording in progress. Division or any other division.
Well, like I said, Jose Benavidez is a top 10 fighter. You know, he was perceived to be the next superstar in boxing. You know, I'll take my hats off to Benavidez. You know, he did what he did. You know, fight night. He's a very good counter puncher. He's tall. He's long. He's rangy. Let's not say, you know, when they sparred, what happened when he sparred Jose Benavidez. So he personally know how good Jose Benavidez is because he shared the ring with him as well. So
was that recently that you're referring to?
No, not recently. I don't know if they sparred recently. I'm just saying in the past they sparred. So, you know, he knows.
Okay. Just one other question for you. Obviously, Kyron Davis was one of your main sparring partners for this fight, and he has a huge fight on short notice tomorrow night against David Benavidez. I'm just wondering what your perspective is on his chances in that fight.
Well, you know, I just wish him the best. You know, I hope he go out there and do what he intends to do, and may the best man win.
Thank you.
Keith, we're having a little trouble with your audio, so we'll get back to you when that gets situated. Next, we are going to go over to Dan Rayfield. Dan, please unmute yourself and go ahead.
Thank you very much, Evan. Appreciate it. Hello, Terence. Terence, can you hear me?
Terence's screen is black right now. Hold on one second, Dan.
Okay.
No, I can hear him.
Perfect.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yes, sir.
I got you, Terence. Listen, Terence, I'm happy that you finally got this big fight in the welterweight division that you have wanted, but it's certainly no secret that your original target was to get a unification with Errol Spence Jr. You have this fight now, of course, but can you speak to if there's any disappointment in not getting Errol Spence, at least not yet, and is it something that you would still strive for in the future?
Well, listen, man, I've been calling for that fight for a long time now. That fight is behind me, and the only fight that I'm focused and worried about is Sean Porter. You know, all them other fights can come in the near future if you know, the opportunity presents itself.
Okay. When you look at Porter, it seems to me anyway, like maybe he doesn't do anything great, but he really pretty much does everything very well. When you break down the videos of him or you watch him or you talk to Bomac about it, what are the things that you talk about as far as believing that are the best attributes that Sean Porter brings to this fight that you have to neutralize?
Well, nothing really. You know, we already know what Sean Porter brings to the table, so we never have them type of conversations. You know, we just prepare for what I need to sharpen up. So when Sean Porter does what he does, you know, we ready and, you know, we're willing to, you know, walk through fire to get that victory.
Thank you very much, Dan. As a reminder to everybody in the call, there's no live streaming of this chat, but upon the conclusion of this call, you can go to the Top Rank YouTube page. It'll be available there, and you can use clips, etc. for your channel. So please follow those guidelines, and we do appreciate that. And next, we're going to go to ESPN.com's Ben Baby. I'm offering Bengals coverage today. Thank you, Ben, for joining us. I appreciate that. Hopefully, for our sake, Terence will do much better than the Cincinnati Bengals have of late. Ben, please go ahead and unmute yourself.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't think Terence is wanting that bad juju on him. But real quick here, when you look at what Sean's done throughout his career, kind of how he's kind of went about his matchmaking, what kind of jumps out at you the most when you look at kind of the opponents he's chosen to face over the years?
Well, he faces everybody. You know, Sean Porter is no pick-em type of fighter. You know, he'll fight anybody, and it's been proven that he'll fight anybody. That's pretty much, you know, how he sums up who he's been fighting, because he's been fighting all the top wrestlers in the division.
You know, how much of an asset is that to you as you're kind of figuring out where you're going in your next step in your career? You know, the fact that you're facing a guy who has, you know, that lengthy of a resume and has been in with a lot of top guys, and how much of that was the thought process when you decided to make this fight?
Well, it never really was a thought process, because like I said, I've been covering for all these top wrestlers since I came in the division. You know, there was nothing really I could do, so I just had to buy my time, be patient, and now we're here, and Sean Porter is the one standing in front of me, and this is the fight that we're going to have next week, November 20th.
Awesome. Thanks, Terence.
Thank you, Ben. And next we go to Adrian Romero. Adrian Romero, please click the unmute button and go ahead.
Hi, Terence. How you doing?
What's up?
So you have been undefeated thus far in your career. So, simple question, what do you want your legacy to be?
Well, I just want to be remembered as one of the great, you know, fighters that put on the gloves. You know, I want to be remembered for my skills, you know, my ability to adapt to any opponent in the fashion that, you know, that I've been winning.
Yeah, we just lost you for a second, Terence. You're talking about legacy and winning in the fashion you've been winning, and that's when you cut off.
Oh, yeah, I was just saying, you know, I want to be remembered as one of the greats, and remembered as, you know, one of the greats to adjust, you know, when people look at, you know, the things that I do in the ring, they can say, oh, well, I can pick that up, I can pick this up, and this is the reason why he's one of the greats, you know.
Thank you very much. And now we go to Cole Whiston. Cole, please unmute yourself.
Guys, thank you from Boxing World Weekly. Terence, Porter said his legacy is on the line in this fight. Now, obviously yours is pretty cemented and already done with, but your welterweight legacy is the one that gets criticized. Do you think if you lose this fight, that you know, the same goes for you?
No, not at all. Not at all. You know, Sean Porter is a tremendous talent, but I'm not going to lose this fight. I'm going to win this fight, and I'm going to win this fight. And, you know, it's what happened. It's already crazy.
Terence, there, we lost you there for a second. Bob, you know, they were touching upon legacy. Terence has touched upon legacy. I mean, what for Terence to take when he wins this fight or if he wins this fight, how does that enhance his legacy, and what do you how do you sort of put him in there with all the great welterweights that you've promoted up in the 80s with Four Kings, through the 90s and early 2000s with guys like Oscar?
Oh, you know, welterweight division has always been a division populated with great fighters. There was Leonard, Hearns, Duran, Donald Curry was a great welterweight in his time. There's just been so many. Oscar, Trinidad. Terence would have been competitive with all of them. Really would. He's a tremendous boxer puncher. He has the skills set that they all had. And it is what it is, because you cannot pick the era that you're fighting in. You're born at a certain time. You start fighting professionally at a certain time. But for this era, clearly, Terence Crawford, in my mind, is heads and shoulders above any other fighters in his division, below, or maybe also above.
All right, thank you, Bob. Terence, are you back with us? Just want to make sure the reception is okay.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, we can. All right, let's see who else we have. We got a bunch more in the queue. T.C. Martin from out here in Las Vegas. Please unmute yourself and go ahead.
Hey, Terence. A while back, Sean had said that you guys had this deep friendship and there was kind of this agreement that you guys really didn't want to fight each other. And he said that, he reached out to you on several occasions and a lot of those, calls or texts went not returned by yourself. Is there any animosity on your side towards Sean, or can you speak a little bit about that?
No, there's definitely no animosity on my side. Like when Sean called, we about the thought of fighting each other, and it was agreed upon both of us that it would be on our terms. And I feel like he got caught up in the media after the Terence fight with everybody saying, "Oh, you should fight Terence, you should fight Terence," and I told him, I felt like they was using him as a stepping stool to, see how me and Sean, fight goes, and, compare me and Errol's performances against him. And at that time, I was already in talk with Manny Pacquiao to fight Manny Pacquiao, so I told him that I got something on the table, and if that fight doesn't happen, then, of course, you can fight if that's what you really want to do. And the Manny Pacquiao fight didn't happen, so we here now.
And I bring back Bob for a second. Bob, Terence touched, there's been talks about the deal and everything. Can you talk a little bit about how easily or not easily this deal with Tom Brown, TGB Promotions, BBC, and Team Porter, and how that came to fruition after, as Terence said, the Pacquiao fight fell through?
Oh, really, it goes back to the Fury Wilder promotions, the second fight and third fight, where both companies saw that we could really work well together. So they greenlighted Porter, and it was easy to put the fight together. Now, again, one of the real reasons why the fight could be made was ESPN. And ESPN Plus has a platform now that has 19 million subscribers. And when ESPN Plus has the exclusive pay-per-view rights, and they can publicize it and email constantly their subscribers, they're doing huge numbers. How do I know that? Because while they haven't had any exclusives yet in boxing, they have had exclusive for a couple of years now, at least with UFC. And the UFC numbers on pay-per-view are huge because of ESPN Plus, which has it exclusively. Now, there are two ways to put on the fight if you're going pay-per-view. One, ESPN Plus is just one of the platforms, so its incentive to really promote is not that great. The other platforms don't do particularly well anymore on pay-per-view. So we thought, I'm sure it's going to work, that going on ESPN Plus exclusively, we will do in this fight UFC kind of pay-per-view numbers, which can be as low as 500,000 and as high as 1.5 million. That's our goal, and I really believe these fighters, both Terence and Porter, are in for a big, big surprise when they see the pay-per-view results. And BBC, I think, is looking closely to see whether this now is a map to enable pay-per-view events to take place.
Well, yes, Bob, yes, we can only hope pay-per-view does that well. Matt Kenny, from ESPN's on the call. So, yeah, from your lips to Matt Kenny's ears, Bob, we all hope that. Next, we go to Alan Alford. Alan, please unmute yourself and go ahead.
Thank you so much, Evan. All right, I appreciate that. I'm glad Bob is actually on the call. In the Atlanta fight, I had asked Bob a question. I'm going to ask Terence the same question. Bob eloquently basically said how Terence is the number one welterweight. My question to you, Terence, is do you concur with that? And if so, please explain why you believe you're the number one welterweight in this division.
I'm the number one welterweight division, and that, from 135 to upper 140, and then to come to 147. And my first fight at the division, no warm-ups, no tune-ups, and defeat Jeff Horn, a man he beat the man was Pacquiao. Pacquiao was the man in the division, and Jeff Horn beat the man, and I beat Jeff Horn in tremendous fashion. So that's why I consider myself the man in the division.
Even without fighting Errol or Ugas?
It's kind of like Tyson Fury having the ring belt, but didn't have the other belts. He beat the man that was the man, which was Klitschko. So once he beat him, all the other titles really didn't matter because he was the king of the heavyweight division prior to him, going in retirement. So when he came back, he still was the king. So if I beat the king, that means, I wear the crown.
Okay. All right, we got a couple more minutes with Terence, so I'm going to get to a couple final questions, and then we're going to let the champ go. He's got a hard out before 11 o'clock Pacific time. So, Michael Rueda, Michael, please unmute yourself and go ahead.
Thank you. And Terence, I'll get to it real quick. Obviously, you want the win. Is it more important to you possibly to get it by knockout or by like a dominant 12-round, beatdown? Is that more important, or is it the knockout that you want?
It's all about the win. I never go in any fight looking to get a knockout or whatnot. I just always go looking for the victory because that's all that matters at the end of the day. On the record, it's going to all say the same thing. Win or loss is not going to matter at the end of the day.
Okay, we got a couple more questions here, so let's see who else we got. Let's go over from overseas, Mr. Jim Conlon. Please unmute yourself. Go ahead.
Hi, Terence. Terence, in the last fight with Sean Porter fought Errol Spence, Sean had an inside knowledge of his trainer having trained Errol Spence. Do you feel maybe that that helps him in terms of his performance? He doesn't have that inside knowledge this time around?
Well, no, I just think Sean is a tremendous fighter. He's very talented, and he knows what it takes to, be in the ring with these top fighters because he's been a top fighter, all his life. So his experience being in the ring with these top fighters and amateurs and prior to, fighting Spence has helped him along the way.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Conlon. Got one more here from Louisiana, Mark Senegal. Mark, please press your unmute button and go ahead.
Yes, Terence, for most of your career, you've been loyal to your team. You've done a great job at doing that. Most die-hard experts and fans felt that you are the pound-for-pound champ. And now you're starting to win over the casual fans. You're going to be the hottest ticket in Vegas next week among women. How do you feel about it, Terence?
Well, like I always say, everything happens for a reason, and, the light shines on every man, once in a blue moon, so it's just my time right now, and I truly feel like it's my time to shine, and I will shine November 20th.
And and for Bob, one last question for you, Bob, and then we'll get Terence out of here. His final thoughts. I mean, we mentioned it's about 100 tickets left for a clean sellout, so by fight week, the Mandalay Bay will be sold out. I mean, how gratifying is it to see that that Terence has reached that place where Las Vegas headliner sold out, I think the first sold-out Las Vegas fight of his career. So what does that mean to you as someone who's promoted him for the last 7-8 years?
Well, people who follow boxing, whether avidly or just a bit, realize that this fight is a terrific fight. They've watched Terence, they've watched Porter, and the response has been absolutely enormous for this fight. I mean, it is, in fact, a sellout. People are fighting now in the secondary market for tickets to the fight. I was happy that we got a place like Mandalay Bay, which has 11,500 seats, because every seat is a good seat. And when they were designing the building, they called me in as a consultant on the arena that they were building, and I suggested one where everybody would have a good seat. So this will be filled. People will see a great event. Terrific. I don't have to sell the welterweight championship fight. It's terrific. But watch the middleweights. Middleweight's becoming a hot division. The Falcoa fight that's on the pay-per-view, which will get new blood. Falcoa with the Canadian Bolney, who will become a mandatory for one of the middleweight champions. And watch this kid, Janibek, from Kazakhstan. I mean, he is the next Gennady Golovkin. He may have more skills than Golovkin had. He is sensational, and he's a tough fight. So it's a great night of boxing. I know that ESPN, with its tremendous megaphone, is attracting record numbers for boxing, pay-per-view, eyes, Sky. The fact that in 3 and 4 in the morning is doing this fight live for the fans in the UK, show how important the fight is and how avidly boxing fans want to see this event. So I'm really enthused.
Thank you, Bob. And I think it's only fitting we close this call with one last comment from the champ. 8 days away, Terence, back in Omaha. Just one final thought for the fans out there watching on YouTube, and that will see you in Vegas next week.
Hey, all the supporters, Terence, Crawford, and Sean Porter, I appreciate each and every one of y'all. And I'm looking forward to putting on a tremendous, action-packed, show come November 20th. And if you ain't got your tickets, get them now because they're going to be gone. And if you ain't making it, just tune in, to ESPN pay-per-view, and we're going to put on a show for you guys.
Thank you, Terence, and we're going to wrap it up. But thank you, Terence, for joining us. Thank you, Bob, for joining us. Not that I need to remind you guys, Saturday, November 20th, ESPN Plus pay-per-view exclusive, Big 4 fight card starts at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. The remaining tickets, AXS.com, so get them now because they will be gone soon. We'll have Fight Week events all streaming on the Top Rank YouTube channel. ESPN will have coverage of all major Fight Week events as well, so check your local listings, and we'll put out a programming release soon. And there will be Fight Week content all week on the Top Rank YouTube channel, taking everybody behind the scenes of all the fighters and fight camps for Fight Week. So again, thank you for joining us today. If everybody looks in the chat, there's the direct landing page for the Crawford Porter pay-per-view exclusively on ESPN Plus. So check that out. And again, thanks everybody for joining us today, and we'll see you all in Las Vegas next week. Thank you.
All right, that was the conclusion of the live Terence Bud Crawford press conference via Top Rank. It was a pleasure to be a part of it. It was awesome. Got my questions asked. And, yep, I did ask him if he thinks he's the number one welterweight in the division. I won't share my thoughts on it now, but I will share it Friday night 9:30 p.m. tonight at 9:30, then our regular scheduled time during our show. So you got something to look forward to. My thoughts on both Porter as well as Terence Crawford's takes on this press conference. And, it's two press conferences. It definitely was a little different. Usually they have them together. So it was something different, but unique. And we're going to talk about that tonight at 9:30 p.m. on the Allen and Aaron Sports Talk Radio Show. Let me give you guys a number so you can have your thoughts, your questions, and your voice heard on our show. 516-418-5572. Again, that's 516-418-5572. Feel free to call in tonight at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Zone so we can go ahead and discuss this press conference as well as any other news in sports. Thank you again so much for listening. I hope you guys have a great night. Talk to you later tonight. And thank you for listening to the live Terence Crawford's press conference. Be blessed.
Thank you for listening to the Allen and Aaron Sports Talk podcast. Subscribe and check us out on your favorite social media platform. Thank you.